Yeah.
How are you doing, my guy?
I'm good.
Man, it has been a whirlwind of the past. Past year was a whirlwind. We flew through that thing, got through there, and there was no issues with the end
of the year. I thank God for that.
We did have some things that happened at the end of the year that I want to make sure that we talk about just a little bit, Rob, on New Year's Eve. I guess it must have been rounding right about 10 o'clock. We had a number of individuals that decided that they were going to rob a store. And there was a young lady that was there that was shot, I believe, in the head. I later found out that young lady was the granddaughter of a good friend, Rob Brooks. Our prayers are with you and your granddaughter, praying that she makes it through, that she pulls through, that things go well. At the end of the year, so many things can go wrong. We make it to the door front and we just don't get here, but we're glad that those of us who are here have had the opportunity to make it. I'm excited about that. But I want to just say to everyone out there, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I don't know about y'all, but I think this past year, what made 2022, 21 such a rough year was because I think that we were thinking, Rob, that, hey, it's over. 2020 is over. We're starting a new year. It's going to be fresh, and we're going to be done with COVID, only to get smacked back into our senses and reality to come to the understanding that we don't determine when the pandemic is over, but the virus will determine when the pandemic is over. Rob, what are your thoughts?
Actually, we do determine it'll be over by getting vaccinated, following CDC rules, following common sense rules, by practicing social distancing, things of that sort. So we can determine that.
We do have a role to play. I agree with you. I agree. After I said that, I said, but what I mean is, like, we have to do our part, and when we do that, and this virus is done mutating, and the quicker we get this done, the quicker we can move forward.
Yes,
This is a new year. Rob, do you believe? Now, I want you guys, those of you who are tuning in, especially those on you who are going in on social media, I want you to like, tag, and share this particular post. We're going to have a conversation with a Ron Sanders and a Rush D. Williams. They're going to be in the stream on today, and on our show, they're going to be talking about justice for Kiera Sanders. You all need to know what's going on there. It is a horrific situation, and no mother or child's mother or whatever the situation is should ever have to deal with what they're currently having to deal with in terms of when a child dies. And so we're going to talk about that. But here in this new year, Rob, are you a New Year's resolution kind of person?
No, I stopped doing that in my early teens or late teens. I think early 20s. My philosophy has been, when I came of age, more or less at 21, is to, if I make any changes to my life, my attitude, and my behavior, I do it on the spot. I don't wait till a whole month has gone by or to start a new year. I just work on the spot.
I got you. Hey, man, I've had so many New Year's resolutions, and I think at the top of my New Year's resolutions for the past 5 years has been, okay, I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to get in shape, the best shape of my life. Well, I said,
not to mention the stress of it, to try to remember those. Then you kick yourself in the butt, because you didn't, honor your own.
You don't honor, you don't finish it through. Right. But so I decided, crazy to hear this stuff. Thanks for bringing it to the forefront, Terry. Yeah, you got to hear what's going on. Alma Collier, Terry Reed. Those of you who are coming in the stream, let's share this conversation, because we got a real conversation. At the top of this, we're talking about what's on my mind, right? And I want to have a real conversation, because we got to talk about affordable housing. I want to do a whole show on this, but I think that we need to address affordable housing, because it is a phrase, a catchphrase that we're hearing a lot about, but we need to understand what it means, and is what we're seeing that's happening in our community. Does it fall under that guideline, or is there something else going on? We're going to talk about it here at Straight Talk. Well, it's the new year. Betty White, all of you out there, all you Betty White fans, I have seen some amazingly funny memes, and I think she would have it no other way. She was considered the woman of Hollywood. She died just before 2022 was coming in. 99 years old, only 17 days before 100 years old. And the thing that's so interesting about that is that even though she was 99, she was quite spry. She was very alert. And many of you would remember her most from her role as Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls. If you're watching TV Land, all of their programming, because that show carried them quite heavily, all of their programming on TV land has been changed, and they're just showing everything with Betty White in it. They're showing the Golden Girls. They're showing another show that she was on called Hot in Cleveland, and Mama's Family. All of those. I loved her. And Rob, do you remember Mama's Family?
Yes, I do. And she was also on the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Mary Tyler Moore. So the older, you more mature, just a little bit more mature than me. Remember her from the Mary Tyler Moore show. She also had her own show, the Betty White show that I was looking at. But I remembered her growing up as a kid. Whenever I got sick, you know, when you got sick as a kid, there are things that you remember, images. One of the images I remember when I was sick as a kid was the idea of having burners. Whenever I think about ginger ale or burners, I think about being sick. I think about not being well and having to stay home for a period of time. And so I think about that. But when I was at home, I would see her on the $25,000 Pyramid and Hollywood Squares. I remember I could sit at home and watch those shows growing up. What's going on to my people out there in social media land? Well, she has gone on. What was interesting about her? A fun fact about Betty White. She was the first woman to produce a sitcom. The title of that sitcom was Life with Elizabeth. So our hearts and prayers out to the family. She has a life well lived. She was amazing as a comedian and an actress on sitcoms we'll remember forever. So, Rob, what did you do to bring in the new year?
I chilled.
The Rob Father chilled on bringing the new year. What you want putting together some master mix, your classic soul?
No, I would do that later in the month, but I know I'm grateful for two things. One, I'm able to see another year, and two, my wonderful son living in Minneapolis is healthy and well, and couldn't be with me this year for the celebration, but hey, I'm here, and my main year is going to come when I turn 62 this year.
Okay.
You know, so.
Look at your young buck, 62. Well, you know what? It's interesting. I spent this year getting back to something that we weren't able to do last year, and that's we were in the house of God. We did watch night service where we watched the new year come in. It was an amazing time to be with family and friends and just to be back into some things that we normally do. All right. Okay. So I want to ask you guys, those of you that are watching out there via social media, why don't you put in the stream? What are some of the things? I'm not going to say New Year's resolutions, but what are some of the things that you have been committed to this year? You've made a decision to commit to this. This is the change that I'm going to bring forth. I'm going to be active this year. Whatever those things are, put them in the chat. I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Alma Collier says, hey, I just watch movies and relax. That's about all you could do in this crazy COVID times. But put it in the stream. What is it that you are pledging to do or something that you set out to do for this year? I'm going to tell you that my theme for this year, it's a church thing, but it's my personal theme, is that it's back in the saddle. I am going to get back to a number of things that I haven't been able to, one, because of the pandemic, and then two, some of the things that have taken a burner back. For those of you that listen, you'll be excited. The show that was a precursor to me getting to the radio station, Morning Manna with Pastor K, I'm excited. I'm going to be back at that tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. We're going to get going at 7:30 a.m. Morning Manna with Pastor K. Hashtag cap. All right. All right, Jeff Bulls, I see you out there making advocacy organization official on paper. You got to do it. The community needs it. We need it to take place. So I'm going to get back to the things that I love, which was Morning Manna. I'm getting back to the gym and fitness. Before COVID, I was going into a season of actually shedding the pounds and the weight and running every day. I'm getting back to a plan of eating healthy. This is going to be the year that I said, not because anyone else, because I am ready to get to a better form of myself, a more healthy form. I'm not on any medications. I want to stop that before any of that begins. It's time for us to get healthy as a community. I'm going to lead the way. If I'm going to lead in every area of my life. So I'm excited about that. Now I want to get to this idea, this concept. Y'all need to hear me out. It's a buzzword that we hear going around, and this is very important. Make sure we get the people in the stream. Terry, I see you out there. You said learning more, reading, and getting involved. Make with more with Monday meeting city council. That is a great pledge to make. Getting to those city council meetings. There's a lot going down. This year will be a year of prolific change for the city of Saginaw. So it's important for all those stakeholders in our community, residents, everyone, to get to those city council meetings. As a matter of fact, Yes, Alma College, you love Morning Manna. You're one of my greatest people, but we're getting back to Morning Manna tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I had to take a quick hiatus, but I'm excited. I've planned out my schedule, got it all together. This year will be a year of prolific growth for our city. Listen to what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of decisions that are made this year that are going to impact our year, our city for the next 2 decades. Do you hear what I'm saying? We got to get down to those city council meetings this year. As a matter of fact, one of our listeners, and they're currently online and via social media, Terry Reed, shout out my guy. I saw your article in Michigan Banner. You and your wife Valerie are doing some amazing things. I tell people all the time, I don't care what you did in your past. I rock with Terry. You're doing great things with Community Auto. Down there, you had the car wash that's coming up, part 2, Community Auto part 2. So many things that you are doing in the community. You're taking care of folks, you feeding folks, you buying groceries, you're helping people who get burned out of their house, you and your wife. So I celebrate you all on today. If you haven't seen it, get out and go check out the Michigan Banner. There is a whole new look. Shout out to my man, Uncle Buck, Jerome Buckley, who is the owner, editor-in-chief of the Michigan Banner. For another great year of articles and stories that you'll be covering. All right, so I want you guys to continue to do what you do well. All right, so the buzzword that I want to talk about today, y'all, we're gonna have a quick conversation. It's called affordable housing. I need to talk to you all about this affordable housing, and this is why it's important. If you were to talk to anyone who were to do any type of examination over the city of Saginaw, really, it's something that's happening all over the nation. They'll tell you that one of our biggest concerns is that there are no housing. The housing market went through the roof because there is, supply and demand. There was no real supply. There's not a whole bunch of houses out there. Jeffrey Bull says he hates the term, but I need y'all to listen in real quick. So the phrase is affordable housing. I need y'all to understand. So when we say that one of the biggest issues in our community is that we need affordable housing, I want you to understand what that real definition means. And then I want you to ask the question based upon the plans that you're seeing, based upon what you're seeing happening in our community. Is this affordable housing or is there something else nefarious going on? And I think that you have to be aware, because when we see housing, we just assume, we need more affordable housing. All right, when I look at the city of Saginaw, there are 2 issues that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about population growth in 1 second, and then I'm going to talk about affordable housing. We need both of those in the city, but according to the definition of affordable housing, it's housing that a household can pay for while still having money left over for other necessities like food, transportation, and healthcare. Affordable, in quotation, is based on the household. And so I want to ask you the question, when we talk about affordable housing here in the city of Saginaw, it's got to be housing that you can afford to pay for, still having money left over for food, transportation, health care. I'll add child care in there as well, and still live in that space. That's what affordable housing is now. So if that's the case, then in order for us to talk about affordable housing here in the city of Saginaw, it's imperative that we begin to do a couple examinations of the city of Saginaw. Now, I got this information from our census. If you got any issues with this information, go ahead and let's have issues. I want you to get me right if I'm wrong, but I'm telling you, we're barking. I think you'll be barking up the wrong tree. All right. All right. So when we look at that, the population of the city of Saginaw currently, we used to be about hovering at 51,000. We are now under that 50,000 mark. That is a very important benchmark for us to listen. So first of all, we've got to really begin to focus on this 47,725. That's what the last numbers were coming in when we did that last research. What was it called? The thing that we did, we answered the questions. I can't remember the name. I just said it a second ago. I'm having a brain freeze. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You went to the census. So the last census, we were at 47,725 or somewhere around there. So that means this. Listen to me real quick. The average income per resident, this is for the city of Saginaw. Y'all hearing me? The average income for the city of Saginaw is $15,127 per year. Okay? 47,725 people living here. We need to get back above that 50,000 person threshold. So it means we've got to grow our population base in the city of Saginaw. The average income per resident is $15,127 per year. Now, listen to this. The U.S. national average is $28,555 a year. That's the U.S. national average. So we are well below the national average. We have a lot of citizens who are living just above poverty. You want to talk about bridges out of poverty? We need to be able to do some things that are going to bring our entire community at a higher base level. Now, I don't mean everybody broke, but I'm just telling you based upon what the census information is saying concerning our community. So we're a community that is in a great financial need. We need to raise our level of income for the individual, but also the resident. Now, listen to this. The average household now that was resident, the average household income in the city of Saginaw is $29,049 per year. That is boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever that household, whoever lives in that household together. So the average income for an individual is 15. So if you got two people living together, you would imagine that it would be about twice that. So $29,049, not even twice that per year. That's in Saginaw. Now listen to this number, and I need you to catch this real good. The U.S. average per household is $53,482 a household. That is, we're nearly approaching twice the level that it is here in the city of Saginaw. So what does that tell you when we begin to talk about affordable housing? In order to determine what affordable housing is, remember the definition says it's housing that we can pay for, still having money for left over for the necessities of life. Not the wants, but the necessities. So food, clothing, transportation, healthcare, childcare, right? If we are making, as a household, $29,000 a year, okay? You can do the math really simple. You take 29,000, you divide it by 12. When you get that number, you take $29,000 divided by 12. When you get that number, you end up with what? $2,416, right? Those 12 months, that's what you are. So when you look at affordable housing, divide that number. You're going to end up with about $340, $350 some dollars per month, okay? So when we look at affordable housing for the city of Saginaw, we got to take into account that our range for affordable housing at an income rate that we are currently at of about $29,000. Affordable housing means that affordable housing for the city of Saginaw is housing that comes in between that 347, 350 marker, right? Probably because they say housing is usually about 30% of your income, right? So you take that 29,000, you take 30% of that. It's very simple. 29,000, we doing math here on Straight Talk, y'all. You multiply that times 30% or 0.3, that's $8,700. You take that $8,700 divided by 12, okay? When you look at it and you divide it by 12, you get $725 per month. Okay, $725. And Terry, I hear you. I think those days of $350 to $400 a month are over. But this is what I'm trying to say. That's exactly my point. So a household, an individual, you're looking at about $300 to $400 for affordable housing for an individual. For a household, affordable housing is no more than $750 per month. I'm just telling you what the stats and the numbers and the definitions are saying. So if our average household income, it should be about $725, and we are now seeing, hey, we need affordable housing. It's the buzzword. Housing that is, there you go, Jenny DeMoore, $950 per month. $900, $1,000, $1,100, $1,200. So my question now becomes, if we're talking about affordable housing for who? Affordable housing for what population? Affordable housing for what community? I need y'all to understand these things, because we can come in and we get excited about the things that are being built. And I love seeing our community be built up. I love seeing the new things that are happening. But if it's being built in such a way that the housing that is being provided under affordable housing, attached to tax breaks, attached to incentives, and all of these other things, if it is priced $200 to $300 outside of the median or the average household income in the city of Saginaw, then this is not for affordable housing for the residents of Saginaw. So you have to ask yourself a question. If it's not affordable housing for the residents who currently live in the city of Saginaw, whose average income is $29,000, and who is it affordable housing for? What's going on? Is there a rabbit in the hat, and there is something going on that we don't understand? You got to begin to ask yourself that question, because this is the thing. When we look at the employment by occupation in the city of Saginaw, it used to be that manufacturing was the number one issue or area that we were in. This year, manufacturing came in at a whopping 13% of the employability. So 13% of our individuals that live here are in manufacturing. And we know that manufacturing used to be General Motors that paid us a generous wage. We call it Generous Motors, with benefits and getting paid 22 to 25 to 30. Some folks making $100,000 with overtime. Those are the days gone by. The new employment leader in the city of Saginaw is employment by healthcare. 20.8%. It is the largest employer in the city of Saginaw. Y'all got to understand what we are talking about here. This is a real conversation. We're going to give it to you straight, no filter, no chaser. I'm sorry if the powers that be don't like what we're saying, but if you're going to be voting and you're going to be talking about where our urban dollars are going to be going, and I'm going to tell you the things you're going to hear, affordable housing, and we need it. We need affordable housing, and we need population growth in our city, but we need affordable housing that meets the needs of those community citizens that are already there. So healthcare is 20%, 20.8% of our population, of the highest level of employability here in the city of Saginaw. Now, listen, it outweighs everybody in the city of Saginaw by 13.8%. That's the U.S. national, right? Here in the Saginaw, it's 20.8. The U.S. national average is 13.8%. We have a greater healthcare population and a growing healthcare population here than we do anywhere else. So what does that mean? That means that if you're looking to get a job that you're working in manufacturing, forget about it. It ain't happening. You're going to fall below the poverty line. You are going to be poor before you get started. If you're looking and working at any other area in this community, every other job area, some of them are growing slowly, but the majority of them are growing at a rate that cannot sustain itself. So unless you are coming in, working in healthcare, nurses, anestheticians, doctors, those types of individuals, and we're not talking the lower level of these things because they don't fit in a population grid that would allow affordable housing to be at $1,200 a month. That's what we're seeing going up in our community. So if they're not building housing for you, the question that you got to ask yourself, who are they building it for? If they're not building it with you in mind for affordable housing, who they're building for? Now, this is what I want to tell you. This is where the power of your community vote, your community stance, why you got to get to your city council meetings, because it seems, Terry Reed says, it seems like the whole city is going towards healthcare. Amen. And I love that. At Washington Street Corner, the whole community, it looks like everything. I said this about 15 years ago, that that's what we were going to become. We were going to be a community that would be about healthcare, and we can't be mad at that. But what I'm saying is, that as we're looking at being a viable part of this community, we've got to understand the economics of the situation. What's going up this building being built is not something that you can live in. So when the high rise and the towers and the beautiful buildings and the Bancroft who is downstairs, when that begins to happen, look at this, outside population comes in, they own the Bancroft. They didn't do anything amazing to it. They painted it, changed the carpet, threw some new fixtures up. It's the same Bancroft that we had people that were living on Section 8 live in, but the people who live there are not from the city of Saginaw. So that housing was never intended for those who live in our community. Hello, you need to hear what I'm saying to you. You're being built out of the community that you so love, that you so have such a great heart for. Jenny DeMore, Jackie, who are they building it for? They're building us a great question. That's a great, absolutely. Who is it going to be for? Jenny DeMore. A lot have developed their own business and working from home. I'm telling you, you have to begin. It's not the tea leaves. You don't have to go to a psychic. It's not some hocus pocus. You just got to pay attention to what's going on and know what's going on. Now, I'm going to tell you, here in the city of Saginaw, we have an issue. So that's what we want to talk about as it relates to who are they building this thing for. If you look at it, we got healthcare coming in, healthcare professionals. We have a lot of residents that don't live in Saginaw, but they'll have apartments in Saginaw. We have students that are coming in for their education. Understand, these are not city of Saginaw residents. So if your dollars, if your ARPA dollars, if all of those things are going to go for affordable housing, you now know what affordable housing is. And I see you, Rush D. Williams. They're building it for the targeted citizen. Bam! You said it, not me. You are not the target citizen. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. They're building it for a targeted citizen that does not look like the average citizen in the city of Saginaw. Build a man and the people will come. That's what they said in Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. All right, I got to get going. I got some people that are getting ready to come in. Rush, you and Rhonda are going to come in. I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about our negative 25% population growth. We got to do something about it. ARPA funds are soon to be released. We need things that are going to build affordable housing and build population, but they got to be targeted for a citizen that looks like those you and I who are already a part of this great community. I want you guys to stay tuned. We'll be back after this commercial break with more Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
How are you going to save? With Price Busters at Menards. These prices are scary low. Add instant warmth and ambience to your home with a 20-inch infrared electric fireplace stove. It heats up to 400 square feet for only $89.99. Or get the 56-inch Hensley Media electric fireplace that heats up to 1,000 square feet and holds up to a 65-inch TV. Pick one up for $299.99 after sale price and $100 mailing rebate. Store for details now at Menards. Savings good through January 15th.
Save big money at Menards.
Only Wendy's serves a better breakfast with a better biscuit. Our hot buttery breakfast biscuits are loaded with a fresh cracked egg, cheese, and your choice of bacon or sausage. Did we mention the part where Wendy's biscuits are hot and buttery?
Wendy's breakfast biscuits, hot and buttery.
So don't take a chance with those other guys. Bet on a better breakfast with Wendy's bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Macy's After Christmas sale is going on now with great deals for your New Year's kickoff, like 25% off chic party dresses. Find amazing lingerie specials too, like bras for just $19.99. And reset and relax with designer sheets and bedding from Hotel Collection, J. Queen, New York, and more, 55% off. Plus, get contact-free curbside.
Rob, do you see anybody in the back stream?
Details at Macy's.com.
I don't see. They said that they're there.
Prices, exclusions apply.
Yeah.
Dishwasher every night with Cascade Platinum actually
They said that they're there. I don't see them.
It's true. An Energy Star certified dishwasher with Cascade Platinum uses only 4 gallons of water per cycle, while a running sink uses that every 2 minutes. Every load saves water.
Saving water with the dishwasher.
So do it every night. Run your dishwasher with Cascade Platinum, the surprising way to
Save water.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
All right, we want to thank you guys for being so faithful in your listenership to what we're doing here on this radio station. I got a story here that I want you all to be a part of, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on because I got my people that are supposed to be coming in, but I don't see them in my stream. And so I sent you all a link. Those of you that are listening, I sent you a link for you to come in and be a part of the conversation. And I want you guys to recognize there was an article that I posted on my page, Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen, just before the beginning of this new year. And I see them coming in right now. Rush, I see you in the background. I'm going to have a conversation with them right now. I'm going to bring them into the room. And this is crazy. This is some stuff that you all have never seen before or heard about. It sounds like something from a Lifetime movie or some kind of crazy TV show. But I put it up there, a young lady by the name of Kiera Sanders. She was a beautician. I'm just going to get straight to the story. I can't think of any other way to set this up other than to bring my guy in. I'm going to bring into the studio Rush D. Rush, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm not hearing you, Rush. I'm not hearing you in your sound, so your sound might be off or whatever. And I don't see Rhonda in our string just quite yet. Are you there, Rush? Try it again. Rob, are you picking up Rush at all, Rob? All right, Rush, I'm not sure what's going on with your sound. But they say that we can you all that are in our listener on social, we don't hear you, Rush. So either you are muted or you're low. We have you in the stream. Okay, and so what we're gonna do? Okay, they say that they can hear him in the social stream, but we need to be able to hear him as well on the radio. And so, Rob, if you could just give Rush that number so that we can bring him into the stream, that would be good.
Yeah, Rush, if you're listening, call 989-921-7107 to pick you up.
All right, so those of you that are listening, I want you guys, I want to say thank you. Let's tune into this conversation. I understand that you can hear him. I'm not working. I don't, have the ability to put him in the stream, but for some reason, we're not able to hear him in the conversation that I'm having through the radio. So, all right, Rush, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, I can hear you. But turn up this volume just a little bit, Rob. We're good. Rush?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, good. So can you all hear Rush on both eyes? We got your back. All right. So Rush, I want to have this conversation with you. I think it's important. I saw this story, and you and I connected because you actually reached out to me. You were saying, "Hey, man, this is what I do. Why don't you share it with our Straight Talk audience? Those of you know you're from the city of Saginaw. Share with them what you have been doing and what you do."
So I'm Rush D. Williams. So everybody that don't know, peace and love first and foremost. So I'm a multi-platinum music producer. Originally born and raised in Saginaw, Michigan. I work with a lot of different music artists. I also work on TV and film. So I have done work with like Lionsgate, with Sony Pictures, work with Bruce Willis on some projects, work on video games. I'm also a business owner. So I have property in Saginaw, where I've invested in Saginaw's the communities and, doing my part, doing my role and helping build everything up. So that's me in a nutshell.
Rush, if you could lower your volume just a little bit, my man. You need to lower it down just a little bit so that we won't get that echo in our studio for the feedback. I greatly appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. So you are multi-platinum. And you are from the city of Saginaw, and we were talking about getting together, doing some things together. And when I was talking with Rhonda Sanders, who happens to be Kiera's mother, she says, "I don't know if you know Rush D." I'm like, "Yes, that's my guy. We're supposed to be connecting, making some things happen here in the city of Saginaw." Rush, why don't you begin, Kiera? And we're going to speak because she is the beloved deceased at this moment. Why don't you begin to take the story? So Kiera. What did she do here in the city of Saginaw? What was her passion and what did she love?
Yeah. Now, can I say something real quick? Now,
absolutely.
Rhonda, she just sent me a message. I guess she said that she's not able to get on as well.
Okay, yeah, I sent her the same link that I sent you.
Got you. Okay.
So, yeah, so I need her to just jump in.
Okay. So Kiera, like myself, born and raised in Saginaw. Kiera has dedicated a lot of her time to the health field. So, ironic enough, you were speaking about Saginaw, the health field. She dedicated a big majority of her work time in that field, helping people, working at a few of the different hospitals. She's always had a passion for cosmetology. So doing hair, makeup, skin care, pretty much anything serving people, that's always been Kiera's passion. And, and she recently decided to take that leap of faith, and the community embraced her with open arms. And I mean, she did what she did in a shorter time span than it took me to do what I'm doing.
Okay. I want to, what was the thing? We know that now she was hit by that entrepreneur bug. When did this start? What was the name of her business and what exactly did she specialize in?
So Curls is the name, Kyrls, Curls. A A lot of you may know Curls by Kiera, and she recently named her headquarters the Healthy Hair Headquarters. Um, and she was doing everything from serving, doing the hair and everything, to actually branching off into products. So she has products, a long line of products, such as uh, shampoos to hair masks, conditioners, pretty much anything that dealt in that field. The oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I just seen a message pop up. I just kind of threw me off. But yeah,
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 one of the listeners was telling me that it's Curls by Kiera, and
yeah.
it's Kiera. And so we want to make sure that we honor her in the right way. So it's KYRLS by KIERA. And so she was an entrepreneur. She was dealing with, I guess, natural hair, I'm assuming.
Yeah, natural hair.
Okay, and so we have just coming into the studio as well. Kiera's mom, Miss Rhonda Sanders. I reached out to her. She posted the story that I saw, and I was like, "Mom, we got to be able to tell this story." So how are you doing, Miss Sanders?
I'm just taking it day by day.
Okay, and I understand that this is still fresh. This is not something that's been a long time. You're still dealing with it. So after your daughter, her demise, you guys began to do like every other family would do. And you start putting together the program. You're planning for her day, and you also have to tie up some loose ends. Could you begin to share with me, Ms. Sanders? First of all, there's children involved as well. Share with me a little, Ms. Sanders, about yourself. Where you're from, where you hail, how Kiera got here, all of that story.
Well, I'm originally from Saginaw, but I'm currently in Arizona. I left Michigan and moved to Texas, and then left Texas and moved to Arizona. This is devastated. My family was devastated by what happened. We're now dealing with issues with her landlord, Great Lakes Bay Legal.
We can't.
Miss Sanders,
Is your finger under
either
your
get
microphone?
closer to your speaker or stop moving your phone or whatever's going on, because I'm hearing noise in the background. I can barely hear you.
Is that better?
No. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to Rush. Rush, if you will help us out until she gets her situation handled real quick.
Okay.
All right, so tell us what's going on. She said something about Great Lakes Bay. Let us know who this landlord is. She's trying to get things taken care of. There's an issue with this landlord at her business address.
Mm-hmm. So first, I want to say this isn't the family doing anything that we shouldn't be doing. This isn't anyone doing anything unlawful. Kiera, her rent was paid. She actually paid 2 days prior. Her rent was paid up. And the only thing that we were really doing is just going to go retrieve our items. We have a 14-year-old daughter who, ever since her mom, she's wanted to follow in those footsteps of cosmetology. So that's something that was very, 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 very important. Aside from it being Kiera's belongings, we wanted our daughter to have it. So basically, we went in to retrieve it. But prior to this, Nathan Collison is Saginaw's ex-prosecutor. He now works at SVSU and also Great Lakes Bay Legal on Michigan. But basically, he had a conversation, corner our minor child, and I hate to say it, but bullied him into trying to purchase Kiera's belongings, the entire shop, and once that was a no-go, then he kind of changed the narrative to, well, nothing's leaving because there's 2 hair dryers that were fixtures, and now we have the lease agreement that says that, you know, fixtures are things that the landlord furnishes to the tenant. He did not furnish it. We also have the guy that actually installed everything. But he basically he's gave us a hard time. And I just don't understand why you would be holding back someone's possessions, just like he's protecting her from her. It's
Okay,
true.
what I want to say here is, you guys have provided me with this information, and it was important for me that, you know, I share the information that I get. I did not reach out. As a matter of fact, I think their website is put down. As no longer Nathan Collison, the attorney, his website is down. I noticed that someone said out there that he ran for city council the last cycle. But what you guys have provided is Great Lakes Bay Legal is allegedly where this person works, or allegedly the alleged situation takes place. And it was important for me because Straight Talk is really about us making sure that the community is aware of things that are happening. And, you know, I did a whole year, I think one time, talking about the village. And the village has to come to a point that we're willing to stand together. We got to know that when someone does someone wrong in the community or in the village, that you're not just messing with an individual, you're messing with the village. And so it's important for us to know these things so that when someone else comes in, and I believe he's trying to do business, you know, allegedly, I don't know anything about him. I saw the story. I think it's worth sharing. I do have, however, that on December the 2nd of 21, that the rent for, I see a receipt in the name of Kiera Sanders from this particular entity saying that her rent was paid. I see a consumer's bill that was due on December 30th that has been taken care of. And you have provided this information. You know, Nathan Collison, he does work here in the community as an attorney in several capacities. And so, Mom, we're going to try to come back to you again to see if we can
And
Siobhan
Padawi. Siobhan Padawi as well.
Siobhan Padawi.
Padawi.
Okay.
Padawi.
Okay, it's a business partner.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to ask these questions. I'm going to call them and ask these questions. What's going on in this situation? You know, why is a mother who has lost her daughter, a child who has lost a parent, a loved one, who has lost a person that they love, why are they having to deal with this? You know, I always say the death spirits come out when people die, and the worst of people sometimes show up. And, you know, if we're looking at this, and this is exactly what's going on, this does not represent people that the village desires to do business with. Ms. Rhonda, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, can you turn your volume up? Okay, I can hear you now.
Is your hand under your microphone? Because I can't hear anything.
Yeah, we're struggling to hear you, and we want to hear from you. We hear everything moving except for you. Just a little bit faint. I want you to do me a favor. I'm going to send you a number and have you call in. Rob, that number again. Our producer.
989-921-7107.
And so if you can leave the stream, for some reason we're not able to pick you up. If you can leave the stream and then call in, we'll take you. We'll be able to hear you. We won't see you in the stream, but I think that would be more beneficial for those that are listening. We certainly want to pay respect and give you respect as a mother of Kiera in this moment. I want to be sensitive to that if you can do that.
And Rush, we can ask you to call too, that way, because we can get feedback. So again, 989-921-7107.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, so as we look at this, so now you guys, how old was the young man or the child that you said this alleged opportunity to purchase everything? How old was that individual?
16. I didn't get the number. Can you tell it to me one more time so I can dial in?
989-921-7107.
Okay, so you said 17. Okay, so based upon Michigan law, that individual isn't someone that we can actually do business with legally. So to approach a 17-year-old child about a deceased mother, their belongings, and to ask them to strike a deal is something that is not only unethical, it's not amoral, but it is also not legal. And so you guys were approaching the situation really that you heard about. How did you hear about this story about the 17-year-old that was allegedly offered this opportunity to Ms. Sanders?
I heard about it from him. Yeah, he told me that the landlord had approached him, and he was there with witnesses when he was approached.
Okay, was he?
He's actually not 17 yet. He's 16.
I see someone putting in the stream that he's actually 16 years old. All right, now, Ms. Sanders, when you look at this story, what is the thing that is most important for you to get across to our listeners?
Well, this has been very upsetting. He should never have approached my minor grandson, and Kara's rent was paid, and he should never change. He should never have changed the lock.
Okay, we didn't even get to that part of the story. Why don't you tell us what took place after he found out? Allegedly, after he found out that your daughter had passed away. Tell us what took place, because I haven't even begun the conversation about locks being changed. So why don't you stop with what happens there?
Okay. He approached my minor grandson, and he told him that he wanted to keep the space as a salon, and he wanted to purchase everything. And then he later said that some of the items, the dryer and the steamer, were fixtures, and that they had to stay with the property, that we couldn't remove those items. And now he's saying that that my daughter promised him, or she told him that he could keep those items.
Okay, and there's nothing in writing that says this, but this is quote unquote an oral contract that he made with your daughter before her demise. Am I correct? Supposedly.
That's what he's saying now. He said other things in the past. So.
Okay,
that's what he reported to the police. That was what he allegedly is in the police report.
Because I do see a police report. I want to get to that. How did we get to the place where we now have a police report? We now have the idea, the situation with locks being changed and you guys being, locked. You go in there and can't get in, have access to the building. How did we get to that point? What took place?
On December 17th, we went to where I was on a plane headed back to Arizona. So my family went there to try to get her belongings, and they discovered that the locks had been changed. And so I called a locksmith, and I had the locksmith go there to change the locks. And when the locksmith arrived, he arrived, and he was yelling at the locksmith, "You're going to jail! You're going to jail!"
Because
and the locksmith got scared and left.
Because technically, you have a lease in hand that says, and you would be next to kin. You would be the one that would be responsible for whatever possessions your daughter has. So as holding that lease, you then have the right to go in and gather your daughter's possessions, is what you're thinking. Locksmith comes in, and you say that the locksmith is supposed to change it because you were locked out. You didn't know what was going on, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And so he shows up on the scene. What does he say when he recognizes you're trying to gain access to a facility that, in all intents and purposes, would appear he changed those locks intentionally?
Nathan,
I want to jump in and say, now on the police report, he said, Siobhan Padawi, in the police report that you have, it says that he seen that one of the dryers were taken down and on the ground. So he stated that he got upset and he decided to change the locks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's in the police report. That's his words. He said that he seen one of the dryers on the ground and he got upset and changed the locks. So so when he showed up, I was there with the other family members, and we had the lease with us, we had the receipt with us, and we just wanted to get the things. And at one point, he even said to me, "You hit me, you want to hit me, don't you?" With a smirk on his face. And then he calls Miss Rhonda and he says, "Hey, can you tell them that the police are coming and Rushdie's going to go to jail?" And I'm sitting there and I say, "What?" So at that point, I decided to call the police. myself. I called the police, and then he says to me, well, you show me your name on this lease. That's why I said earlier, it's as if he's trying to protect her from her. Why are you asking me about my name on the lease?
Okay, so where are we currently as we look at this? And this is shocking. I think a lot of our listeners that are out there, and I know that we have a number of attorneys and judges that are probably saying, what in the world is going on? Where do we currently stand, Ms. Sanders, as it relates to you all receiving the possessions of your late daughter?
Well, I haven't received her possessions. I reached out to them via email, and I've called multiple times, and we still don't have her possessions.
Okay, and so I see some people putting Janie Lamar. She's an attorney in the area. She's practicing law in a number of different states. So you guys are, as it stands currently, the police have been called. There is a report. I've seen the report on hand. So has this thing, has it been filed for court? Or is someone, what is the current situation?
Well, I definitely plan on taking legal action in regards to the legal lockout and the conversion, because they never should have changed the lock. Her rent was paid, and I mean, because he get upset and because of the hair dryer saying that they're fixtures, and he decided to change the lock. That's not.
Okay,
so also add Kareem.
Absolutely.
The point where we got to the police report was a few days later. We're going to go pick up a police report on the incident so we can have record, because I called. And when I got there to get the police report, it had me as the suspect and him as the victim. So that's when I'm getting some feedback. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm getting some feedback as well. We'll see what's going on there. Go ahead. And so, is your computer audio off?
No, mine is muted.
Okay, good. So you were listed as not the victim, but the perpetrator.
Right, and that's when I read it. And as I'm reading the situation, I'm like, this is not what happened.
Okay, let me ask this question really quick, okay? And I'm not sure all of a sudden we're getting a lot of feedback, but let me ask this question. If there's someone else that's in your surroundings, please ask them to mute. If you have another radio or something else on, mute those other devices so that we can hear you guys clearly, okay? So what is the thing? How can we remedy this situation, all right? I'm pretty certain by the number of people that are in the stream that are listening to this conversation and will listen to this conversation in its rewind. How can this situation go away? What is the one thing that you want at this point in order to be felt like you've been made whole?
Well, I just want to add this very important detail to end off the police report thing.
All right.
After he stated that he changed the lock because he was upset, which is illegal. In this police report, ironically, the two things that he wanted the most are the two things that are missing.
Okay, so that's why. And let me stop, because there is a case that is out there. I want to strike that last question as I was thinking. I don't want you to answer the question, what's going to make you whole? Because at this point, you guys are now being damaged, having to go through the pain and the suffering of the current situation. I think the key thing is that you want justice to be done. Any mother, any parent, any loved one, any child has the responsibility to receive whatever is left of their late child's possessions, especially when you hold a lease that has been executed and paid for the remainder of that month. The utilities are current, everything is current. You just want to receive justice. Ms. Sanders, if I could give you a couple of minutes to close out this conversation and to let the people know, I want who is this individual that we're talking about, because we want the village to know who's out there making these crazy, alleged crazy situations. We don't want someone else going over and, they say, hey, the last tenant had this place, we charged them this month, and they'll raise or hike up the stakes. What is it that you want the people to know and to be on guard for as they begin and they continue to go forward in doing business in the city of Saginaw with those individuals out here?
The name of the business is Great Lakes Legal Base, and the owners are Siobhan Padawi and Nathan Collison.
Okay, and so what is it that you want? Maybe there's another young barber or a beautician or a salon nail person that's looking for space. What is it that you would warn them of concerning this current situation? Is there any advice you might give them?
I wouldn't be interested in doing business with someone that would do something like this. So,
okay. Mr. Rush D, now I want to turn to you. All right, Tita Carreras, I see you out there. She's saying, listen, let's make it plain and simple for the village. Don't do business with them. I'll tell you, there's one way that we can get people to act right in our community when they work with us. That means that when they don't do us right, we let the village know. And the village stays together. She says, so since they locked the door, does the money get returned? They didn't fulfill their part of the lease. There is a whole lot of law. And so I want to stay away from that as it relates to what is legal and damages and being locked out. And 5 times, residential and business are a little bit different, but there are some recourse actions that are there. Okay, but Rush, you have said, and I want to turn the page a little bit, that you wanted to get involved with the community. You are multi-platinum artists working in our community. So as you share the story of Kiera, what is it that you want the community to know as we prepare to leave out? I got 1 minute for you to share these closing thoughts.
Already, but they're both attorneys. One of them was an ex-prosecutor. One of them worked, Nathan Collins said he still works at SBSU. These are the people that's the architects of our community. That's not the same represent at least.
All right. I want to thank you guys for your time and attention. Mama Sanders, I'm so sad to hear about your loss, and then also you having to deal with this situation. Our hearts and prayers continue to go out there. I want you to go. I'll share any updates that I get concerning this on Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. We'll make sure that we do a follow-up. We want to make sure that justice is served for Kiera and that this family is able to have some resolve to the situation so that they can continue on and gain closure. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And for those of you who are listening out there, let's share this story until we can't share it enough. Let's begin to get involved. I want to know when the case is, when it shows up, and the village will show up with you to support you because they're not just playing with Kiera. I am Kiera. We are all Kiera, and we stand in solidarity as it relates to the village. Thank you guys for this conversation. Those of you who are listening to us via social media, thank you for tuning in. We thank you guys. Have an amazing evening. God bless you all. Grace and peace.
Listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions